I always think about heroes in a half shell. They're always my favorite. Welcome to the Beat Around the Bench podcast about woodworking, good times, and general jackassery. With your hosts, Jess of Jess Build It, Colton of Colt Crit, and Ross of RNC Woodworking and Designs. You can find us all on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. In this week's episode, we celebrate Jess's triumphant return. Colton has a conundrum with his carpet. Jess dies twice and makes offerings to the porcelain god. And Ross still hates Bondo. All of that and more is coming right up on this episode of the Beat Around the Bench podcast. Now, for episode 111, Ironwood Maiden.
Good name.
I love it.
I don't know how that hadn't already happened, to be honest with you. That would have been a go-to for me. I don't like too many of their songs, but I do like
Hey, here's a challenge. If you're able to do a good one with Lignum Vitae, I'll be impressed.
Okay.
We'll have to think about it.
I will see what I can do.
Okay, food challenge. Are we ready for this week's food? I mean, because we're always thinking about food and wood, right? So,
I mean, yeah.
It's like one of the basics for
food challenge.
Food challenge. So, seafood. So just tell me your favorite seafood dish. It doesn't have to just be like, I like, salmon, but like your favorite like seafood dish if you want, or maybe just your favorite, like if you just like perfect, like, super expensive scallops that have just been, buttered and just perfectly crispy. If that's your favorite thing by itself, if it's fried clam strips, whatever it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I got mine. Mine's a rare tuna steak, right? Where maybe like a slight glaze. I don't want the sauce to overpower it, but just like a touch of a sear, cool in the middle.
Yes.
Tuna steak.
We used to get a rare blackened tuna sandwich at this little place, and next door was a seafood place. So it was like fresh. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was amazing. What about you, Ross?
Yeah, also, sorry, real quick. There's a fajita place, El Tiempo in Houston, and they do a tuna fajita, and it's kind of the same. They cook it a little bit more, but the sauce on that one makes it like a nice little kind of sweet sauce.
All right, very good.
Yeah, Ross, what do you got?
I didn't even think about Mexican versions of it.
Yeah.
So I have two limitations. Yeah. Number one, I do not live near an ocean. So I live near a massive freshwater lake.
Sure.
But as far as ocean going fish, we don't get a ton here that are super fresh.
Shrimp.
Well, there are some that are flown in every day to very high-end restaurants or places that do like ridiculous amounts of volume. But like, I actually have a shellfish allergy as well. If I take down more than a pound of shellfish at any one time, like even if I'm just touching that much shellfish, I break out in hives and like swell up all over.
Oh goodness!
And I found this out when we started hosting crawfish boils at my house, because we had a bunch of people here who didn't know how to shuck a crawfish. So I was helping a lot of people. And all of a sudden, after going through like 5 pounds of shellfish, even though I had only eaten like a half pound, just touching all that shellfish, my hands swelled up like crazy and like couldn't make a fist anymore. Like my hands were swollen.
Well, I bet you the steam off the boil would mess with you too.
Probably.
Yeah, it opens up your pores. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do tend to enjoy a few different seafood dishes. I never get mad at like a Baja taco. So like some sort of whitefish with, all the cilantro and onion and cabbage and stuff on there. Those are always great. A blackened redfish or a blackened red snapper is pretty fantastic, especially if you can do it like an etouffee. Absolutely astounding.
A pink snapper.
Yep. I never get mad at zing.
God.
I never get mad at a crab cake. Like I have yet to meet a crab cake I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
And I will be the first to admit I am not a fan of sashimi, which is the pieces of fish.
I am. Yeah.
But I love sashimi.
I do really enjoy some like really well done sushi rolls. with like lots of spicy sauces and mayos and everything on there.
Yeah.
But put a combination of like 3 or 4 different things in there that are all spicy, other than eel, and I'm going to be real excited. So,
like you.
Right on.
And if I'm going simple, a Greek style bronzino is pretty
I don't know what that
fantastic.
is. What
You
is
made
So-
that up.
No,
Just kidding.
bronzino
It sounds
is
like a type
a
of like a waxing.
no, bronzino is a whitefish, kind of like a sea bass, but from the Mediterranean. And it's very light, very flaky. But Greek style, they literally open it up and grill it right on the flames, like the charcoal flames, and then it's just a little bit of rosemary and lemon. That's it.
Okay, so my favorite, it's a toss up. I would say I have a go to, but I'll tell you, like, oh, I'm sorry, I think my phone's not on mute. I had, remember I showed you that sign with the Coquina Island Way Estates? Well, back in there, there's like a nice restaurant, but you don't have to dress fancy. This place with the Ipe deck out back, I always tell you
Yeah.
about.
Yep.
And they have a stuffed sea bass that'll make you, oh, dear Lord, have mercy. It is really good. It's like crab cake stuffed sea bass. And then, but if I had like a go-to, it would probably be like a lobster, like crab shrimp, like pasta. Like I like the starch with like a creamy tomato sauce.
What about
on
like
it.
a po' boy?
Po' boys are good. Po' boys are good. I like fried oyster po' boys, probably the best.
Okay.
Those are really good. With like a Thousand Island on it or something. But I really like a pasta, like the seafood paella, but that's rice and stuff that I had at that other place. But like a really like real lobster and crab chunks and shrimp in a like a creamy pasta, or even
base.
a garlic parm like type sauce, butter sauce. That's the bomb. I eat that till I die.
I didn't even think about the oysters in the half shell. That's my jam too.
I always think about heroes in a half shell. They're always my favorite. Yeah.
Yes, Michelangelo was my.
Yeah, he was a party dude, if I recall.
Yeah, I like the nunchucks.
So it's funny you said I like a good sea bass, because my first job in the spirits industry was the Chivas Regal ambassador in Chicago, and I used to have to walk up to people and say, "Excuse me, don't mean to interrupt. My name is Ross. I work for Chivas, and I'm offering complimentary samples. Would you like to try?" And every time there was a group of either Japanese or Chinese businessmen who were out that I would approach, I would say, I'm here from Chivas Regal. And they go, "Oh, sea bass! We're rubbing the sea bass! Mr. Sea Bass!" And so I was Mr. Sea Bass all night with these guys, and they were doing round after round, and it was great. They thought I was the most amazing thing. So
I guess I don't understand. How does sea bass have to do with
It sounds like
Chivas?
Chivas.
they couldn't say Chivas. They would say instead of
Sea
Chivas.
bass,
Chivas. Yeah. Sea bass.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's funny.
Got
It reminds me of Dumb and Dumber, like kick his ass, sea bass.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
sea
that-
bass over there,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's sea bass.
Okay.
I didn't get it. Okay, I got it now.
We're
All right,
rubbing
Dumb
the
and
sea
Dumber.
bass.
Yeah. And I didn't know y'all did crawfish boils that far north.
So my wife
There's a
lived.
swamp.
Well, my wife actually lived in Louisville for a number of years, and her best friend married a guy who's from Pierre Par, Louisiana. And so they do crawfish boils on the
Oh, yeah.
regular. So we brought the tradition further north.
I've never done one.
Dude, any idea how much they are a pound up there?
So I get mine direct from Cajun Grocer, shipped up, but the season is done now. But I try and get them end of May, early June, and I'm usually paying like $60 for 20 pounds.
Yeah,
But
pretty
they're-
cheap.
But
Okay.
the body or the meat of the tail is the size of my pinky finger, to tell you how large they are. Like the whole body of the crawfish is literally the length of my hand. Like
Big old
they
things.
are massive crawfish.
I'm
Mud bu-
impressed. I
mud
thought y'all be
bugs.
paying out the roof up there or something.
No.
But
They're
that's
pretty
impressive.
cheap.
The one thing that does suck is my best friend, whenever he comes over, he does like to imbibe like he's a Southerner. And he likes to do a race of the live crawfish. and whichever one loses, he says then the winner gets to live, and the one who's
Gets
in
thrown in the
last
ditch?
place, well, no, he sets it free, as he says. I don't know where it goes, but
The
he
toilet.
he actually takes the majority of them and puts them back in the boiling pot. But the one who's in last place, he throws. And one year he threw it on my roof, and then it ended up in my gutters. And my gutters had
Smelled.
standing water in there, and I went to blow them out 6 months later,
It's still alive.
and it was like death, just death.
Oh.
The smell,
yeah.
rotten, everything. Oh God.
Seafood's bad. Like it takes
Yeah.
a day for fish drippings to stink.
Mhm.
My mom had fish leak one time in the trunk of her car,
Ugh.
and we couldn't get the smell out for like a month. So had sun and Febreze and everything else.
Whew.
Too funny.
Yeah. Back when I was in the bachelor pad, just me and a roommate, we would do some crazy crawfish boils. Man, we got to the point where we started having to do wristbands to see who had paid and all that. Like it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Hell
So
yeah.
Jess, welcome back, man.
Thank you. I had the end of the tile job that I had been working on, and then I did the trim as well. So I did like some kind of modern flat crown, changed the door out, did the door trim.
You did the
and
trim?
I did the trim and the molding, if you ever want to call it, and hung her door and everything. And it kind of started to rain right at the end, and I had some drywall patches I had been working on where the electrician had to cut out, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna stay. Like if sometimes you just feel like
Yep, I
you
got to
feel
get it done.
like I'm caffeinated or whatever, like I feel like doing it, so I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And we still had to install the vanity, but I wasn't going to do that by myself, so I stayed until 8:30 that night. I didn't get home until almost 10 o'clock, and but I got it done. So and I just wanted to get it cleaned up. Like she's real, she's not home, so when she comes home, her house is all covered in dust and stuff. It's like not a good thing. So I
No.
have to like make sure things are all straightened up. Everything's locked up. We had stuff from tile out back. There was just stuff everywhere, and my trailer was a wreck. So I just kind of spent some time cleaning everything up and finishing like all the details. And then we went back Monday, and because Friday we had like meetings and I had estimates and some other things, so I went back Monday and we put the vanity in, which was, I tell you what, man, SketchUp always to the rescue. Just like it fit just right. And I've been trying to show Justin a little bit of it, so I sent him like a link, but I've also given him the file and access to it, so he can open it up and like move stuff around if he wants to or whatever. And we actually wound up extending it a little bit right at the end before he got the veneers on, because I had the measurements I was given were wrong, so it needed to be a little bit longer. So, but the drawers still, because he'd already made the drawers, so it all still worked. And that Wingate, absolutely gorgeous. As it turns out, Renner, remember I've talked about Renner, that lacquer stuff. They make an exterior varnish, spar varnish.
Really? Water-based?
Yeah. And it's pretty good stuff. It's pretty, I mean, it's just like anything else. I wouldn't say it's crystal clear, but it is, it's got some pretty serious specs on ultraviolet and all that stuff on it. So we'll see, because that's what we put on those big doors.
All right.
But what I really wanted to talk to you guys about was my fence.
Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
No. My fence. So back during the last, well, I think it was a hurricane before that. It was the last hurricane. Our fence basically blew down between my neighbor's yard and if you're at the street looking at my house, to the right of me.
Okay.
And then he has a pool, and he has another fence that goes across the back. Also, that was wood, and it also fell down. And he's the guy.
Was there a tree that pushed him down?
It was just rotten. They're just old. He had replaced like the other sides with PVC at one point. And so like one of the gates fell down. So he like fixed that. But his other fence on the other side was fine. So, and then my fence on my other side was newer. And there's just like a whole mix mashes of fences from people over the years, right? My back fence is like old PVC, although trees are kind of growing up and around it. So we've been trying to find a time to do my fence, and this was last weekend. Saturday and Sunday were the days we were going to do it. So they took down the old fence, and most of the posts just snapped off or came right out of the ground. Nobody had ever put concrete in them, like, the wrong way to do it. And I have a certain way of doing it. I use 2x4x16s, and I stagger the joints, and I use screws for everything, deck screws, and it basically is just not going to go anywhere. The wood's, especially if we put some deck stain on it in a couple of years, it'll last a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So last fence you're going to have to worry about. So I said, that's how I want to do it. And I said, and he got a bid for $4,000 to do the whole fence. It only cost him $1,400. That's all it cost him. I paid mine. I paid $400 and something, and he paid $1,400, and that was it.
Done and
that
done.
Included the gate hardware and the concrete, and nails and screws and everything. So we set out digging holes. His neighbor helped as well because they're just like best friends. Ashley's dad came over. One of my old buddies.
Post hole digger, or
we had two.
an auger?
We had two. No, we didn't have an auger. As it turns out, it was a good thing. They don't work real well around here because of the roots. And you catch a root, about rips your arm off. And then, as it turns out, no. And then, it turns out. So at some point in the 70s, or maybe even the 80s, they thought that it was a good idea down the back property line of properties to put the utilities, like cable and telephone, which is a horrible idea. 1, for trees.
Yes.
And 2, for sprinklers, and 3, for fences.
And 4, for access to said electricity. There's even electricity. There's electricity too. Mm-hmm.
So the first hole I dug, where there was an old post, exactly where there was an old post, there was 2 big major cable lines, or fiber optic. I'm not really sure. And I'm pretty good about guessing what those things are. But
did you have anybody come out and mark where you should or should not dig?
Negative.
Awesome.
No. It was right where
we talked about that on the last episode.
The surveys.
You could have learned a thing or two, Jess.
The surveys. Yeah. So we did it by hand. We didn't use an electric auger, and we avoided cutting anything. So I will tell you that.
There you go.
There was some old sprinkler lines we found, but they wound up being not being anything. So that was one hurdle. The second hurdle was that it was
1 billion degrees.
The hottest day of the year in heat index on record in Tampa on Sunday, and pretty
on
much
record.
the same. Yes, 114 degrees heat index, 70% humidity. So
it was about that on Saturday here.
I was dying, and I'm pretty tough. And then we got the posts in, took a lot of breaks, posts in, let's see, on my side, and then we put some stringers up, and then we got like the top stringers done on the back, and I said, I'm too hot. I said, I'm too hot. I don't feel good. I got to go inside in the air conditioning for a minute. And they're like, yeah, let's all go in our houses, like take a break in the AC. So MJ's sitting there with me, and I said, oh, and I ran to the bathroom, and I threw up all over the place.
Oh, goodness.
So I felt better for a minute. We went back out back. We finished the bottom stringers, and I say felt better. I couldn't hear out of one ear.
You
and
don't
could
need
barely
to hear
hear
to put up a fence. Come on.
So then
stop whining about it, Jess.
Cut to the next day. So we're starting to put up pickets, and he does flooring. So he cleans floors. So he had these snail fans, you know what I'm talking about? The big like blower fans that go on the floor. So he like rigged it up so it was like blowing on us. That got us through some of the day until we finally got around front, even though we had the fan on us. And I said, shit. And I was like in the middle of putting the picket up. I dropped my tool bag, ripped my hat off, and I had like muddy shoes on. I took my muddy shoes off and barely made it to the toilet inside the house, and threw up again the second day. It was so hot. And I didn't get my hearing back in both ears until probably 7 or 8 o'clock that night. And I was drinking everything you can think of. Liquid IV, Gatorade, water. I took a cold shower, everything.
I know it sounds dumb, but did you try a beer? the sodium level helps.
No, I don't drink.
Really?
You know what they did say? Beer would have killed me. Pickle juice.
Yes.
Several
Yeah.
people have said pickle juice, and I guess that's just the salt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, back whenever I was on the road, me and Crystal used to road cycle. Like at our peak, we did a 100-mile race, and like halfway through it, like even if your calves are cramping, like
Yeah.
one shot of pickle juice like changes everything. And
Yeah, I had the
I think
cramps.
it's like a super Gatorade, basically, like the sodium or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I had like massive leg cramps. I don't know what that muscle is in the front right of your leg or in the front left of your left leg. It's like almost like want to call it a shin splint, but like my foot was cramping and going out, and it was horrible. We had him over for burgers Saturday, and the one guy couldn't get his burger to his mouth because his bicep was all cramped up. I mean, we were a mess, and that guy's got a pacemaker next door. So we made it through. So now tomorrow I have to frame, and we have to do demolition on a roof and some other stuff, and I am very nervous about it. I couldn't have prepped any more than I did. I wore the cool towels. I did every trick. I did the pickle juice. I did all of it, and I just got too hot.
Did you have one of those pop-up tents?
Yes, we had shade. We had shade under the trees. We had shade under my porch. We had fans. We had cooling towels. We had plenty of every kind of water, Gatorade, liquid IV, all that stuff. So we're going to start very early and end early. And that's hopefully be our saving grace to somehow make it through the day. But, you know, when we used to do stucco, we would do it like 6:30 to 2:30 usually, or 6:30 to 2, and we would get our two. We wouldn't take a break. We get paid 50-minute breaks, which you don't have to do anymore. But because of the heat, and then Dad would always try to work in the shade. Like he'd figure it out. Like when we first got to the job, where's the shade in the morning and where's the shade in the evening, in the afternoon, and try to work that way around the house so that we always had something to do, so we weren't in the dead sun. But the fence, there was no way around it. And with this roof, there's not really much way around it, you know? So we shall see how it goes. We've scheduled about 3 weeks to do it. You know, once we get some of the sheathing done and stuff, as long as I'm not in the dead sun, I think I can survive it. But,
and if you do, have you seen those makeshift sombreros?
I have a big straw hat like this big.
Oh, you do got one? Okay.
Yeah, big, and I wet it down with cold water, like everything you can think of.
Oh, that's smart. So the makeshift sombrero, I picked it up from our Hispanic guys. They you just take a piece of cardboard and cut it out the size, cut a big circle and then a circle in the center for your head. You just put it around your hat.
I gotcha. I got a big straw hat. It does make a difference. The sun not beating on your head. And I mean, and so does the cooling towels actually work quite well. You're always wetting them. And if you just snap it, it gets cool, you know, and you put it around your neck. But you can only sweat and lose so much so fast. And there's just the heat, like your body's making you throw up because it's trying to save energy from digestion to save your organs.
So the other part about it is when the heat is that high and the humidity is that high, and we actually had those same temperatures, but it was 90% humidity here. It was this past weekend. So
yeah, I saw that.
It was at 10 o'clock at night on Friday. It was 79 degrees actual and 101 heat index at 10 o'clock at night. And the humidity was 89%. And in that kind of consistency, and the next day was even worse, there's really nothing you can do because the humidity, it's from corn sweat in the area. That's why it's so high right now. But it's so high that you can't sweat. Your body isn't cooling down enough. So there's literally like getting into a pool or a bathtub is like one of the best things you can do. I don't know if there's a way, Jess, for you to,
spray the water hose on me, I guess.
Yeah, do that.
It's not like I'm not wet already.
Yeah, do that like every 2 hours. Just seriously, like dump a bucket of water on your head.
I'm not gonna kill myself. Like if I have to take 1,000 breaks or we have to stop and because it's funny because we came back out at about 6:30 that evening, 7 o'clock that evening, because we have light until almost 9 here.
Yeah.
And we came back out, and she's like, "This is when you should have been doing it." I said, "Well, that's when I'm going to finish the gates, because the way I build my gates." By the way, this is a little hot tip. So you got your posts.
Hot tip.
So if you're going to make a gate for your fence, a wooden fence, build it like there's no gate going there. Just run your stringers across it, right, and put your pickets on it, right, and then go behind it and brace it like it's going to have that gate with some cross pieces, and then go out front and put a temporary 2x4 across the top, like just tack it into the boards, and then cut it with like a skill saw. Cut your 2x4s in between or you might have to cut a picket, take the screws out or whatever, and cut it after, and then put your hinges on it. And then when you take that 2x4 off, you can cut the other side, and then you've got a gate right there. Cut it after it's up. If that makes any sense. You can, and now with buzzies and stuff, you can get through the picket if that's a problem. But with a skill saw and a buzzy, you can, and then the picket's all perfectly lined up, and you don't have to do anything.
I'm not gonna lie.
Very nice.
First of all, that's awesome. Second of all, in my mind while you were doing that, I was coming up with a jingle of what the hot tip section needs to be.
Okay.
And if you remember the Nelly song, going down, baby, Doe Street and a Range Road. Yeah.
Sweet
At the beginning of it, he's like, hot tip. And then,
does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was going to be some sort of breast joke that we were going to do.
No.
That's fine.
No.
That's fine too.
I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
Those are some nice hot tips.
We went to very different places on that.
That's for the after-hour show, Jess.
Yeah.
That's for the Patreons. Yeah.
Yeah, beat her on the bench
Whoa.
after dark.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on. You just let the cat out the bag.
Oh, did I?
We now have a Patreon.
Get out of town.
We now have a Patreon. It's official. Colton took the time to set up a Patreon account for us. We're going to unveil all that kind of good stuff as far as the levels and what that might look like for everybody. But we had enough people telling us we should open up a Patreon. So if any of you wonderful listeners out there wanted to throw us a shekel or two, maybe we can afford a sandwich to come hang out with you and have sandwiches. You never know.
Yeah, could be.
So, yeah.
Shekel.
Yeah.
A shekel.
Penny for our thoughts? Oh, that's funny.
So Colton, my man, besides setting up a Patreon, which we'll unveil all I don't have the link in front of me, so I can't tell it to everybody, but we'll put it out on the Instagrams and everywhere else. But what you've been doing, man, you're clearly back in your old shop right now.
Yep. Yeah, I am. Last 2 days have been in the Prestonwood shop at our old house.
Yep.
And I made a washer board. We'd always talked about it, and every now and then I'd have a request for it, but never had time for it. But yeah, I made a quick washer board.
I just use my abs to clean the laundry.
Yeah. What is a washer board?
So similar concept to cornhole, except you're throwing like a 2.5-inch washer.
Okay.
And similar basic rules, a little different, but
It's called a fender
washers
washer.
is funny. So depending on where you're from, there's a lot of different styles of washers, right? So I grew up with 3-hole washer board. It's probably 2 foot by 4 foot. And there's 3 holes. They're worth different points. The set I made today is it's like 1 hole and 2 foot by 2 foot. I've seen some with that are square, and then that'll have 5 holes, and it's kind of interesting. Like anytime someone asks me about washers.
Up north, we have Maytags that come with 1 big hole. You put all your clothes in there and you close them.
Yeah, we have whirlpools here.
Yeah, we're still down in the river here in Houston, but
yeah, it happens.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was neat. But
is this an extension of Cold Crit now, or like what's going on here?
Yeah, it's for a buddy. It's a quick one. actually charged enough this time, which was
Oh,
nice.
oh my God! Hold on.
I know.
I don't even know what to think.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So
But,
you're,
yeah.
and when you say you charged enough, does that mean you covered your material cost, or you actually charged enough to where like you made $1 or $2?
I counted for time, yes. And I mean, luckily, the only real material I had to buy was the
Washers.
the carpet, and I think I had some washers. I don't
Carpet?
know. I haven't sourced the washers yet, but yeah.
Wait.
So that's one thing about washer boards is that you carpet the top.
Oh,
Right.
I like that.
So
If you want to mess with people, can you do shag carpet?
Yeah.
oh, that'd be funny. No, we had talked about doing turf, like football field turf, on this one, but he
That would
wanted.
be
So you normally do
cool.
like a marine carpet, right? Real tight knit, low down, and that's what we did on
With
this one.
pictures of manatees on it?
Yeah.
I don't get it yet. Oh, marine. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
mate.
I'm a little slower on that one.
You should do one that
but
says
yeah,
Maytag
so-
on it.
I had asked a few weeks back about about the what do you call it? How to adhesive this
Yes.
carpet to the top, right? And so I ended up going with the Gorilla Glue
Yeah.
spray adhesive.
Yeah, it works pretty good.
I'm not a fan of that stuff. I mean, it works
Did you
once
put
you get it out of
multiple
the
coats?
can. No, multiple coats. Like
Yeah, 2 coats on each. Because
Two
it soaks into the wood and it soaks into the carpet. So like that first one kind
Huh.
of seals it. That's what we found because I did the same thing with some rice paper that cost $300 a foot, and it wouldn't stick. And then we did 2 coats, and it seemed like that second coat is where the magic happened.
interesting. So what I did, I sprayed both sides, both the wood and the carpet.
Yeah,
And let it get tacky. So give it about a minute, and then put it on and like press it pretty good, and that seemed to work pretty well. And then also I came back with a stapler and stapled the carpet in
yeah. That's
on
a
the
good
corners.
idea.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of this.
No, it's not great.
This Gorilla Glue stuff, like it. I've never. Maybe the first time you use it, it comes out really nice, but it's really easy to tack up the
Yep.
nozzle. And like I even after I spray, I turn it upside down and spray a little bit just to spray it out. But it just tacks up so bad, and then comes out real spurty,
Yep.
right? Like splotchy.
The stuff that I found works really well, not the Gorilla Glue, is the 3M spray adhesive.
The high end one.
Yeah,
It's
because there's like
9
4 or
something.
5 different levels of it. And it's like in increments of 1,000 as far as like the adhesion level.
Yeah.
But once you get up to like the 4,000, it's legit stuff.
It's expensive.
Nice.
All of that spray
But
adhesive crap is super expensive.
but it's
Just
worth it.
roll on contact cement works great.
Oh yeah, we could have done that.
Regular old roll on, and they actually make carpet adhesive, but it's not instant stick. Because if you really look at the back of a piece of carpet, you know how rough it is. Carpet
your mother
adhesive you
likes
put
it,
on with a
Trebek.
V-notch trowel. When we put carpet down, you use a V-notch trowel, and it's like thick, and it's like liquid nail. You know what I mean? That's what they use to
Oh.
glue down carpet. So,
But
yeah.
I've never been disappointed with a 3M product too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also I saw like, I looked up some videos on the spraying. I haven't really done carpet stuff before, and I saw one that looked really good. I was going to try it if I was going to buy one, but I already had the Gorilla Glue stuff. Is like a 707. I wanted to say it
Yeah.
was. It might be from ODIF. I'm not positive on that, but yeah, they have some sort of fabric adhesive. But yeah, so it was kind of fun. It reminded me of the cornhole boards, right? I did a lot of pocket screws and using poplar for the base of it. And what was it? So on the front of it, I lasered in like his company logo and like a Texas A&M Gig'em. And then on the top, I haven't done this part yet, but I cut out a big A&M stencil,
Okay.
right? Just out of like some 1/4-inch plywood.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan is to put that plywood down on top of the carpet and put some staples in just to hold it in. Like there's some parts that are like, like military letters where they have to have like the little runners to hold in like the center of the A,
Yeah.
and like something like that. And then I have a spray fabric paint that I'm going to use that with the stencil. So we're going to see how that goes.
Which color are you going to paint both colors? The white and the maroon?
So yes.
Paint?
The stencil's for the maroon. And then I was going to come back with tape and do a border around the maroon in white. And with a white spray adhesive or spray can. No?
Paint the entire thing white, just open-ended white, and then come back with the stencil and paint the maroon. It'll be much easier.
Right. That would be easier. However, we want to do the white as like an outline though. And
way to be a quitter.
Can you laser? I just thought of. Could you laser carpet?
I mean, it would melt it.
But that's how they got most of their carpets off. You can also do it on back hair, underarm hair.
I think you're thinking of laser hair removal.
Oh, yes, you're right. I believe so.
I bet you could though. Like on tight knit, you could like do a little melt, and it would like leave it some type of impression.
That would be neat. I mean, it would affect the way the washer hits it.
Not my problem.
But not my problem. I did see there was some guys who were like using like their laser at a low wattage on themselves, like they put their hand under it, and not that I recommend that.
Also a terrible idea.
Also terrible idea. Yeah.
But I think with my little 8-watt laser, if I did it like 20%, it'd be removing hair. I don't know. I'm not going to try it.
Let me ask you this: You're currently sitting in your old house shop, working on a project, which means you are not anywhere near the point where you've started to tear down said shop.
Right. Oh yeah.
What is the plan of attack or the time frame for
the 700 people that it's going to take?
Yeah, thank you. I actually wanted to talk on that. So we have the roof on the shop, right? So the main shop is prepared to take in all the equipment. However, there's no electricity at the shop.
Yes. And we talked about that last time.
Right. And we emailed the Centerpoint guy again, and he's going to have us like a report kind of quote on like how we can do it, like from what we had talked about whenever me and him were in person.
Yeah.
And so getting electricity in there, unless someone ups and buys the house, then we're just going to move everything over without electricity. And so that's why I'm working on these projects right now, is so that I can go without electricity for a while.
Have you had
these knocked out? Have
you had any bites on your old house?
We've had only 2 showings, and I'm really surprised. And what I think is happening, I think we missed like the big move, right? Everyone moves based around the school year, at least for houses like this where it's like meant for the kids upstairs, right?
Yeah, could be.
And so I think we're a little bit late on that. I'm not super in tune with the housing market right now, but the little I've heard, it's not a seller's market.
It is not.
And we've only had 2 showings, and I'm at the point now where I'm gonna. So we dropped the price like a little bit, and that right after we dropped, that's when we had our second showing, and it's a little disheartening. Like I put a lot into making the house look really nice. Like as soon as you walk in, like we worked on like focal points, like the base of the stairs, redoing those real nice. The dining room with the 2-tone and the board and batten, and we left a really nice table in there just to kind of paint the whole picture. Yeah. We left the fridge in, so it kind of like ties in with all the stainless stuff. And I really put a lot into it, but I kind of want to get our realtor back out here and walk it with her and see what she might see as potential eyesores, and then work on those. So we haven't paid the mortgage payment, but I think it's coming up like next week, which we're prepared to do. Obviously we don't want to be paying 2 mortgages, but we're prepared to. So.
Okay.
But hopefully the right person comes along. Anyone in Houston looking for a good house, or anyone who wants to move to Houston.
I mean, it's all about just the right buyer. I mean, it's what it always been. You know, it's not like you live on the water in some, where everybody's having a bidding war. It's a sweet little house that, especially somebody that has like wants a shop. I mean, those things are going to be important. You just got to have some cash to be patient. That's all.
Mhm.
Right. And yeah, which that puts pressure on me, to be really pumping out some stuff out of the shop and get the shop moved and but
Yeah.
we're almost there with electricity. I think it's going to be quick. We're going to, like we talked last time, go through the air with
Yeah.
put in 2 poles. And oh, that's right. I still need to talk to him, see if I can put in the poles to
Yeah.
spec. And I don't see why I wouldn't be able to, once he inspects them. And yeah, but then tomorrow I'm going to be back at the new house. I'm going to build a handrail for the back and then put skirting up, and that should drop our home insurance.
Oh.
Right, that was the home insurance came in kind of high, and those were the 2 biggest complaints. And we're like, oh, we can do that, and so going to get that and start working on getting the home insurance down.
Cool.
And yeah, making sure I got everything packed up that I don't need to come back to this shop. It's really hard working out of 2 shops.
Yes, it is,
Every
baby.
time it's like, damn, I forgot this.
I
And
forgot. Try working on job sites.
Yeah.
Try working on job sites and 2 shops. It sucks. That's why I was talking about the trailer the other week. It's like a nightmare all the time.
Yeah.
Always forget something.
Always.
And there's always big stuff too, and then you got your favorites, and it's just, I know exactly what you mean, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everything I was working on today, I was hoping to have done Monday, but I got all the tools, left the my computer, so I couldn't run the CNC for the stencil or the laser on the front. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Laser. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, I feel bad not being home. Little Charlotte is the witching hour thing. Like in the afternoon.
She's really
especially,
into like R-rated movies. Like what's happening?
She looks bad in certain types of light.
Like all her needs are met and still fussy. And it's not like that all the time.
She want to be held?
Held. Like I'm saying, we try everything and all needs met, and then still tough to get down, which I'm actually pretty good at getting her. Like, I think it also may be that I'm coming home with more patience as opposed to Crystal's been fighting her all day. And,
right.
But yeah, it,
maybe she needs a spanking.
So trying to get home, trying to work from that shop more so I can be there for Crystal and
just
Charlotte.
Beat her. But just beat her. That's what I used to do with my kids. It worked out.
Oh, I thought you meant his wife. I was like,
either one. Either one.
Okay.
Beat her at a game of chess or what?
Yeah. She'll love that.
Yeah. But I mean, Charlotte has not been terrible. She just has it's I think it's common. They call it the witching hour, usually in the evening for like a period of time, just difficult. But we have had 2 public outings. Like we actually went to a restaurant with her.
There you go.
For the first time, and took her to Target, and she was a little angel for all that.
I have to tell this horror story from a friend of mine. So they had their first boy, first or second. No, yeah, it was her first boy. Yeah, and they call it, what do they call it? Colicky?
Yes.
Yeah, they call it, right, when they cry all the time, right? They call him a colicky baby, right? And this kid screamed and cried, I would tell you, most of the time. And I felt so bad for her. And he was just inconsolable. Like they feed him and change him and all this other stuff. And then they took him to the doctor because they're like, look, something's wrong with this kid. And as it turns out, he had a hernia into his testicles that nobody knew about. And that's why he was screaming, because he was in pain the whole time and nobody knew.
I mean, I would also cry all the time and scream if I had a hernia in my testicles.
They fixed that kid. They did that surgery. That kid was fine ever since. Was fine thereafter. Well, not to mention the great meds they probably gave him afterwards. But I mean, they were doing anything, like every old wife's, like everything, and she was a good mom. She had raised other kids. So anyway, I just felt, I mean, it just makes you sick to your stomach to think that poor baby didn't, he didn't know what was going on with him. He was just miserable.
Right. So that's one thing that helps me a lot, is to remember that her crying is that's how she communicates, right? She doesn't have any other way to talk.
Once again, are we talking about Crystal or Charlotte?
Crystal has other ways to communicate.
Yeah, she'll smack you.
But yeah, but yeah, whenever Charlie's fussy, I try to remember that. Not to say that it doesn't get to me sometimes when she's
Oh yeah, of course it
inconsolable,
does.
But yeah, she's just talking. You just got to listen. But I'm pretty good. I'm the finisher, if you will. Like whenever I get home and Crystal's like giving up, like I can normally get her calm and down. And
I thought that was your nickname in the bedroom.
Brooklyn was inconsolable.
Finisher.
Brooklyn was inconsolable. The other two are pretty good, as far as I can remember. Brooke, my first daughter, was horrible.
I have an honest, legitimate question for Colton and Crystal, for that matter. Charlie was conceived at Maker Camp in October last year.
Yeah.
Does Crystal want to reprise that trip, or has she said, "I'm never going again"?
I was trying to make it a tradition.
You go and make a new child every time you go to New York?
In a U-Haul.
Yeah.
In a U-Haul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe we'll step it up and get a Penske truck this time.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah.
yeah. But no, I don't think she's going this year.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I should be going. But we'll see. We're still playing it by ear.
Okay.
You know, with baby and all.
Yeah.
But
You got a
I don't
baby?
think she's going this year, but I think she will go again.
You got a baby. You're working on your house. You just bought another house.
Yeah. You don't need to be going to New York.
And you also are doing side jobs, which is great, and making money at it. I don't think you have time for Maker Camp, my man.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think you have time for Maker Camp.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe next year, though.
That's a.
We'll figure that out.
Why don't you let Crystal go and you stay home?
That's a great idea. She would love that. As long as she doesn't make a baby when she goes again and you're not there, we're good.
She could probably use a few drinks and a little respite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I do plan on still going, but we'll see. Obviously, if it's better for the family to stay home, I will. So
Okay. Well, so my discussion's actually pretty short. I haven't had a ton of time in the shop.
Oh wait, what happened with the alien table?
Oh, you missed out on some great discussion.
I'm sorry, I was not here for that. I did not listen either.
So, long story short, I delivered the table. It was ugly as sin.
No, the top wasn't.
Well, the top was okay. It still wasn't my favorite, but delivered the base or delivered the whole table. The lady looked, and as I delivered it, I was like, "Let me put the top on there. It looks better when it's together. I promise, but we'll talk." And I basically said, "I hate this base," and she's like, "Probably not more than me." I was like, let's test those waters. I think it's as ugly as sin, and so we basically agreed. Well,
that she was going to buy a base.
She was going to buy a different base. I ended up having to go back and pick up that table base, and I brought it back to my shop. They put on a new table base, and we have parted ways because I know I'm not going to get the other half of the money that she owes me, because the argument that she has is I didn't get the other half of the table. So it sucks. So it is what it is. Yeah. Okay. So that's done. And then to your earlier point where you said, if it's going to be in the way, just throw it out. I actually went to go clean my shop and move some stuff around, and I had that table base on a rolling cart, and I was like, I'm going to move it over here. And my dad happened to be in the shop that day. He was like, if you move this now, we are going to move around this damn table for 4 years. And I was like, you're not wrong. Because
you should have used it as a base for like a work table or something.
No, I literally, the garbage man was coming that morning, and I wheeled it out there, and I was like, I will, if you help me load this up, I will throw this in there. He was like, all right, whatever. So we loaded it up, and off it went.
Please tell me you got
all that
would be a great
work.
Little short reel, like throwing it away.
No, I was.
Well,
I
will tell you this. I will tell you this. The $2,400 that it cost you. This isn't a secret. You said on the podcast that it cost you. I think that you gained in knowledge.
Absolutely.
Different, because I've had all those same failures. All those same failures you've had. Easy.
This predicament happens to me about every 2.5 to 3 years. I have one project or one customer that I'm like, I'm just done. And that's the point where it's maybe every 4 years, but that's the point for me where like woodworking isn't fun. You deal with annoying customers or like really moody customers, and you deal with a project that you hate, and you keep having to go back, and it's like one thing after another, and you're losing money, and you're like, this is supposed to be a fun side hustle, and all of a sudden the fun is gone. So like the last one that I had that was similar to this, if you ask me, was when I had to do those fluted doors for the lady and all the trim work.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that was literally like months of going back and forth with her. I lost my ass on the amount of money that she owed me hourly wise, and it is what it is. It was a learning experience. So I have some things in the works as far as new projects. I'm working on the gaming table again. The joinery is all cut, but I haven't had a chance to get back to it as of yet. But my nugget actually gets back to part of that table, so we'll save that for a little later.
Well, my thoughts on it were that it was a bad choice on their part anyway.
Yes.
Number one, on the design, because of what they wanted to sit at it. That's the wrong shape top, right?
Yes,
they needed a
absolutely.
pill shape. Pill shape would have been better than anything.
Or a rectangle.
Well, yeah, but a pill if they wanted it round, whatever, right? But like the oval just doesn't work for people that want to sit at the side unless it was like massively wide, right? Like huge wide. Second of all, that base, you needed weeks of thought and planning and trial and error.
Not like 10 days.
To figure out how you were even going to do it. You know, if you were going to do it out of wood, the fiberglass thing I thought of, like there's a lot of different ways. Like I've seen people make them out of like plywood sheets, you know, a lot of plywood sheets. I've seen people make them out of rings of wood that they glued together and all that.
And then you carve it down.
Like massive amounts of work and time. And then the other thing was thinking that you could get it done in the time span that was just like, now if you just had to make the top and bought a base, you probably could have made that happen.
I did make it happen.
And you didn't charge enough. That was like a $15,000 table if it had been all wood.
Yes.
If that base would have been like real wood, oh my gosh.
The issue that I had is the last estimate I had sent was basically, it was based off of purchasing a metal base for the table.
Right.
And she was like, no, it has to be wood. Also, I need it in this many days. And I was like, So, yeah.
I wonder if you could have taken a metal base
and wrapped it.
Or like did a faux wood grain on it. Or
Maybe.
wrapped it.
Maybe.
Like a veneer?
See what I mean? This is the time that you need to do it.
And
but anyway,
as I've thought about it since then, technically I could have done it out of wood if I had the time to do it correctly, knowing what I know now.
It would have been fun to power carve it. Sorry. It would have been very fun to power carve that big monster.
Yes.
But that's a lot of wood too. You know, that's a lot of wood to glue up and a lot of clamps and like days and days of like different sessions of gluing. You know what I mean?
So I actually, on that note, that's what took me so long to mill up everything. My initial intention was to do exactly that. And so I milled up everything. And then I looked at it and I was like, this table base is going to weigh like 400 pounds.
Or more.
And I was like,
what if you had made it hollow? Like
it was hollow.
Well, the rings.
No, I'm saying like if you went with this wood idea, the power carving idea.
So
like
the
you
issue,
do your rings like circles.
Then you got to glue all those up.
You still have to glue them,
I'm saying as far as the weight.
But the issue that you run up against is if you go, just beyond where you think you need to go.
Right.
As far as power carving, you either expose the dowels or the dominoes or whatever, or you cut straight through the wood, and it's just
you make a hole. It would have been it, and then you can't. It has to be like different sets of glue up because you can't have the grains going different directions or it's going to pull itself apart. So all the grains need to be like either that or do like octagonal or kind of thing going on, but it's oval. Oh my god, it's like a mathematical nightmare. You would have had to really figure it all out. I would love to do that table one day, that base, an oblong thing. I think that's like master woodworker stuff, but it would have to be for yourself or for somebody with endless amounts of money, right? That's like, I want this handmade, so on and so forth. That's the point. And I don't care how much it costs, because that's the only way you'd ever make any money doing something like that, unless you made them all the time, I guess. But
Yeah.
anyway, I've had projects go wrong big time. Curves, late night stuff, underbidden stuff, thinking, oh, it's just laminate, it's just a box, it's just this, it's just that. Oh yeah, we can do that. And then you're just still working on it, and you're still working on it, and you're still working on it, and it's like, oh my god, I'm never going to be stinking done with this.
Yep.
And and then you hit that point where you're losing money, and it's just like, what am I doing?
And then you also hit that point where mentally you are done with the project.
Yeah.
And then the quality is going to suffer from then on out.
Yeah. As soon as you start losing money, that's, I think, where a lot of it starts to go. That's where I think a lot of it is like, I'm not making any money at this. I'm now basically building this piece of furniture for free for somebody.
Yeah.
It's very hard to stay motivated and being still like deep into it mentally.
Yeah. It's really easy to let your mind slip into that negativity. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
hey, the silver lining for me though on this is that I'm sure at least one more point in your life, you're going to have to do Bondo. And you're gonna be much more prepared.
You shut your horn down.
I know you don't want
you know
it.
what I think? You know what I think it is, Ross? I think you just need to sit with like me or Colton or somebody that does it a lot, and they can show you exactly like ways to do it where it doesn't screw you over. The like using Bondo without any hardener in it was kind of, I think, the cream of what made you hate it the most.
I mean, that was the first application. I had 4 other applications after that. And I went through 4 separate cans of Bondo to try. That's
a lot of Bondo.
Yeah. But my biggest problem was, okay, I need to cover this massive area. And so I'm going to pull out a lot of Bondo, put it on the tray, and then put some hardener on there. And by the time I get halfway through it, the damn thing's hardened up and I can't use it. And I'm like, well, crap, this is causing more problems for me. So it was a mess. It was a mess.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah, Bondo's so vague. I think that Bondo just relies on people learning from.
Well, that's why they sell extra hardener. That's why they sell extra hardener at the store, because nobody ever gets it right.
Well, I didn't need more hardener. I needed more Bondo. I always ended up with extra hardener. I had tubes of extra hardener.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was your problem. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always run out of the hardener.
Oh, no. I was
I always put too much hardener, and it goes off on me. And I'm like, I got one last little piece. And so then I got to make another batch of it. And everything's all sticky. And then, but it is, I have used Bondo a lot in a pinch with painting stuff where like, there's like a bad dent, and it's like, I don't have time for filler to dry. And you can mix up a little Bondo hot and put it on there nice and tight, let it dry, sand it with heavy grit, and then, repaint it. And
for
saved
that,
the day.
I might do the like the epoxy wood stuff. Like comes in the tube and you chop it up. I mean, pound for pound, it's a lot more expensive, but I like working with that more than Bondo.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Well, anyway.
So, Jess, do you have a history for us?
I do have a history of the week this week.
Let's get after it.
It's the history
of woodworking.
So I thought this was an interesting subject. I thought of it today. So I had a day off, and me and Colton go back and forth about like the brunt boots and like, because I really had my eyeballs on some of those Marins with the super toe.
Yeah.
They're like $179. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't like boots. It's hot here, maybe in the wintertime. Now, I will wear them in the wintertime, but like it's hot here, and I've always worn tennis shoes. I know that's not safe.
Can you do steel-toed tennis shoes?
You can do steel-toe tennis shoes, but in every single pair of steel-toe or composite toe shoes that I've ever bought in my life, like especially when I'm like getting on the ground doing baseboards and stuff, they bend into the top of my toes.
And they hurt?
And it hurts. I get a blister or there's a lot of reasons. So
do you have real long toes, like monkey toes?
My middle toe is kind of long, but no, I don't have real long monkey toes. No.
I have long monkey toes.
I don't know why. It's always been that way with me. And I've had one time where something fell on my foot in my life, right? It was a piece of drywall. exterior drywall that was really big, and it hurt my toes, but I didn't break anything. So my buddy used to always wear
Red overalls. It was that
no,
little doll, my buddy.
no, he did flooring, and he just wore like hiking kind of shoes.
Yeah.
Does that make this? You know what I'm
Hiking
talking
boots,
about? Like
yeah.
it's like tough shoes,
Mhm.
like tennis shoe type things. He would wear
Trail
Columbia's,
shoes, yeah.
Columbia's, right? He had these ones that he would wear, and they have a nice, good toe because that's the first thing to go for people to do flooring, right? The toe, you wear the toe out because you're dragging it around on the ground, and then and that's what's gone out of most of my shoes, or I've ripped the soles. I always buy cheap like Walmart shoes because I know I'm going to trash them, right? So I did find me some Skechers in the work section that I really like today with arch support, and they're like cooling, and they got the reinforced toe and all that stuff. So I put them on in the shoe store today at a clearance place. I got them for $50, and I was pretty excited about those shoes. And I started to think about work gear because that's like a thing. That's
Mhm.
like people are Carhartt for life. People are,
Yeah.
DeWalt. People are whatever it is. They are serious about it.
Mhm.
They had Carhartt boots there. Wolverine boots, Red Wing boots, like
Caterpillar.
people that are about Red Wings too. They're like Red Wing
I've had a
diehards.
few sets of Red Wings, and I love every one of them.
Yeah, and now Brunt has become very serious, and it seems like from personal people that I know that own them, they're some of the most comfortable boots they've ever worn. And then I started thinking about other work gear. So this week's history is about the history of work gear for us people, men and women. Okay. So the first thing is oh wait, I'm sorry. That's our trivia.
Is work gear?
Is work gear.
Oh,
My bad. So our history is about
sexy work gear.
hand planes.
Oh, hand planes.
So hand planes. Sorry, I got it mixed up. So hand planes. That's what made me think of the trivia. Hand planes they've been around for a long time. What did they look like before the metal ones, Ross?
So they are a wooden shoe, if you will.
Yes.
A wooden oval, and they have a wooden wedge holding in a metal blade. And
That's
so you
pretty
could-
much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a wooden block. They had a sharpened steel, blade that came through, and then they poked it in with a wooden wedge, and that is pretty much it. It was very hard to adjust the depth. It was very hard to adjust the angle, and then as seasons would change, the plane would change,
Mhm.
right? Because of the wood would move a little bit. So sometimes a lot. So guess who came around?
The Japanese. Oh.
Stanley Plane Revolution. All right. So in the mid 19th century, there was a guy named Leonard Bailey, a Connecticut-born craftsman and inventor who decided that there's got to be a better way than these like wood planes, right?
Mhm.
So he was born in 1825, and he revolutionized it with his metal-bodied woodworking planes, patented first in 1958. And then Bailey partnered with Stanley Works, a
Mhm.
company in 1843 by Frederick Trent Stanley. Frederick Trent Stanley, 1843. And they initialized, specialized in like door hardware and bolts and hinges and stuff.
Mhm.
And he saw the potential in his planes, and he's like, let's do this. And so they started making Stanley planes. And then there was like all these different ones, the Bedrock series from 1998 to 1943, Stanley number 45, Stanley number 55. And they called the Stanley number 45 combination plane the Swiss Army knife of woodworking, right? It was capable of handling more than 20 different cutting functions. So that's basically it. That changed it. Everybody's ripped them off since.
Yeah.
Because there's the Sweetheart century that they had that were the ones that Stanley himself really liked. So if you find an original Stanley number 1, the smallest plane, about 5.5 inches long in good condition, they sell for like $1,500 to $2,000
Really?
because people really want them. Yeah, I have an old Stanley Sweetheart that I bought off a guy for like $60. It's all rusty, but it's not like deep, and I want to restore it one day. But yeah, like 100 something years, 175 years they've been making Stanley planes.
I have 3 or 4 Stanley or Bailey hand planes that are from the late 1890s, early 1900s, and they work better than some of my newer planes. They are absolutely astounding, and I will say the metal is a little bit more brittle than stuff you get now,
Yeah.
but they're great hand planes, man.
I wonder if there's a way to like take a crappy plane, because I know what's his name, the Wood Whisperer did it, but like anneal, because they give you this junk metal in the blade,
Yes.
right? Because the hand plane part of it, I know that the works of it with the brass and all that is one thing, but like the blade, can you like heat it to a certain temperature and then like or heat it really hot, dip it in oil, and then anneal it? Like, can you do stuff to change the metallurgy of it?
What I actually have done, and this has worked for me on a few different sets of planes, is there are times where either you go to like an antique shop or somewhere and you find this vintage plane that's all beat up, and they're like, we're selling this for $30 to put on your wall as an antique. You can buy it, and it's actually a really good hand plane. But sometimes the frog, which is the part that adjusts the height of the blade or the depth of the blade,
Right.
that's shot, or something else. You can buy some of these for parts, is what I'm saying. You can actually get at Lowe's or Harbor Freight or somewhere else some of the cheaper bodies of a plane, and if you have some of these older blades that were better built, you can slap them into your current body of your plane, and all of a sudden that thing is cutting exponentially better. So I'm sure you could do some metallurgy, but it's not worth it. You're honestly,
you don't want to make it too hard, right? You want it to be
but
just right.
the other part is the caliber of the metal that's put into with most of the cheaper planes, the blades,
right.
it's not great.
The grain's not good to begin with.
Yeah. So you can actually sometimes find just a blade for an old Stanley plane that you could throw in there, and it's awesome.
I know that sharpening it cool is a big thing, right?
Absolutely.
You don't ever want to let it get hot because that really messes it up.
Oh.
So you never want to let it like people just use a grinder or something that's not good for a good tool. You want to use something cool.
Nope.
So sorry for the mix up, but yeah, that was the history of the Stanley plane. So 1846, that's a long time ago. And Stanley was just making nuts and bolts and hinges and stuff. And then next thing you know, they're in the woodworking business.
Yeah. Weird, wild stuff.
All right.
Last week you did miss the history of the mortise and tenon joint.
Okay.
So that was a good one. You should go back and listen to it. So.
I will listen to it tomorrow for sure.
And we have a trivia, obviously.
Yes, we do. Yes, we have a trivia.
Wow.
Better get on out that knowledge, cause it's trivia time.
All right, as was more than alluded to, this week's trivia is about work gear. Okay?
Sexy work gear.
If you know one answer to any of these questions, I will be... Well, no, that's not true. You'll probably know, Sue. And I have 2 bonus questions, all right? It's kind of crazy, wacky.
Are any of these questions, before we start, are any of them about the safety gear that is used on, like, Budweiser pinup ads?
No.
Oh, because they always end up having, like...
Well, maybe the guys that put the signs up might have to wear some of the safety gear.
Well, I was thinking, like, they always have, like, some girl in a hard hat and, like, a safety vest and, like, Daisy Dukes, and you're like...
Well, you can imagine them wearing some of these things if you'd like.
I mean, sure.
Okay, we're going to start with Ross. Ross Squatch. Question number 1. Which company introduced the world's first steel-toed work boot in 1930? Would you like me to read the multiple choice?
Sure.
Is it Wolverine, Red Wing, Timberland, or Caterpillar?
Wolverine. Red Wing.
No, it is Wolverine. You should have stuck with that. Wolverine Shoe and Tanning Corporation, founded in 1883, released the first modern steel-toed work boot.
Really?
All right.
I've seen some of those Wolverine boots. I thought it was like an off-brand.
They are stiff.
I didn't know it was an original. I
tried one today, and I thought I was going to break my ankle. I just can't.
It's kind of like the brand Champion. Like, it's one of the hot brands right now for design. But if you went back, like, pre-COVID, that was the brand you'd see at Walmart.
I was about to say,
And
I still think of.
Yes.
I mean, like I'm obviously I'm not up on this fashion because
Shaq used to be
Champion was
$200
Walmart, yeah.
shoes, and now they're Walmart shoes. Yeah.
well, yeah, he did that on purpose, but
Hobie, remember Hobie? Hobie and Massimo.
Massimo for sure.
Used to be
Massimo.
another at Target. Yeah.
Yeah, them
Okay.
and Stussy.
Yeah. What happened to No Fear, by the way? All right, moving
People
on.
had
Who,
They graduated to the. I'll think of the name here in a sec. Go ahead.
I'll read you 4 names. Who is credited with inventing the modern hard hat in 1919? Is it Edward Bullard, Henry Ford, Levi Strauss, or John Deere?
1919. Henry Ford.
No, it was Edward Bullard. He designed the first hard hat, originally called the hard-boiled hat, inspired by the helmets used in World War I. All right, question number 3 for Ross. Levi Strauss famously made rugged denim pants for workers, right? They're wearing out the knees.
Yes, sir.
Did that before. During which historic event was it?
It was the hold on. It was actually the gold rush.
That's correct.
Hell yeah.
That is correct. Yeah, for miners in the 1850s. Yeah, they were
I
wearing
remember
out
the
the
big
knees.
thing with them. They did the grommet or whatever.
Yeah, they did
And,
they did the rivet.
yeah.
The rivet.
Rivet, there
yeah,
we go.
Yeah, because it was for their watch. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Carhartt, known for rugged work clothing, was founded in what year? Is it 1889, 1912, 1935, or 1950?
1935.
Incorrect. It was actually 1889.
Really?
Hamilton Carhartt. Yeah, with 5 sewing machines in Detroit, Michigan.
I've had
or as
one
they
set of
call-
Carhartt pants, and I loved them so much that they ripped from the gooch to my tailbone completely, and I patched them back up and sewed them again, and then they've re-ripped and in the process of
Carhartt's
sewing them.
only one of the few companies that makes work T-shirts that are extra long so you can tuck them in,
Yeah.
and they last.
The other
forever.
company that does that is Duluth Trading. Some
Oh,
of their
yeah.
stuff has extra long length to it. It's actually
Yeah,
really good.
I love that stuff.
I will say the Duluth Trading fire hose work pants, until you break them in, they are some of the most uncomfortable pants because they
Yes.
stand up on their own in the corner.
Yes,
they're that
pretty stiff. Yeah, pretty stiff.
Yeah,
I got a set of those Duluth underwear. I like them.
they're great.
All right. Question number 5. Colton, what was the original purpose behind Timberland's iconic waterproof yellow boots? Is it A, construction workers, B, fishermen and outdoor workers, C, firefighters, or D, miners?
I believe this was actually my question, but I'm going to go
Oh,
with
is it?
fishermen.
Is it? Oh, I'm sorry. It is. It is your question. Fishermen. That is correct. It's 1973. They were marketed in New England's fishermen, loggers, and outdoor tradespeople.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question number 6 for Colton.
All right, here we go.
Dickies, famous for work pants, originally supplied uniforms to which brand of the U.S. Armed Forces during World War II? Was it Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines?
Army.
That is correct.
All right.
They supplied durable uniforms to the U.S. soldiers. That was just like the best thing that anybody could do for branding.
Yeah, I got 3 sets of those Dickie pants. However, they look like scrubs, and like they're fitted pretty well. They have side pockets and stuff, but I never wore them for XFR. It's what I got them for because they look
Dickies-
like scrubs.
They came out with some iterations with like ripstop, like almost parachute kind of stuff.
They also
And
had
I
the
like
long
those.
shorts that Blink 182 made famous.
Yes, this is true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I never liked the long shorts. Okay.
I didn't either, but they had them.
Yeah, they had them. All right, moving on. Ross, question number 7. Reflective safety vests were first developed in the 1960s,
But-
primarily.
I'm going to go with 3M, the Germans.
No, I haven't said what. Primarily for workers in which industry?
Oh,
Is it road construction and railway workers?
Yes.
Miners? Okay, that is correct. Road construction and railway workers, obviously for the visibility to reduce accidents. Question number 8, Colton. Which boot brand created the first direct attach sole to boots, eliminating the need for stitching or nails revolutionizing durability and comfort? Was it Doc Martin, Red Wing, Danner, or Thorogood?
Doc Martin.
That is correct.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they have stitching on the edge of their gum sole.
That's true, but it's not. But it's still glued.
Oh, it's decorative?
It's decorative. Doc Martens invented in 1945 by German Dr. Klaus Martens.
The Germans.
Pioneered the air cushion sole attached directly to the boot upper.
Those boots are so heavy.
I know.
I saw them for sale today. They still sell the same ones.
So they've come back because that style from the earlier 2000s has come back. And I remember when there was Doc Marten sandals that people used to wear that basically were like a whole shoe and it was just kind of open on the sides. But I remember girls who were in driver's ed with me wearing those, and they're like, I'm not touching the pedal, but we're accelerating because the weight of this shoe is just pushing down the pedal.
I had a buddy that kept his like polished. You couldn't kill them.
Yeah.
All right. Colton. Red Wing Shoes introduced their iconic Iron Ranger boot, originally designed for which profession? Was it railroad workers, iron ore miners, oil rig workers, or electricians?
Wait, this one's Ross's, right?
It is my question, I believe.
Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know, but the answer is iron ore workers up in UP.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
Oh, yeah, hater.
What? I think it's because you're talking after. Okay. Yes, Red Wings was developed for the iron ore miners in northern Minnesota. That's correct. All right. Which question, number 10 for Coco, which company created the first aluminum hard hat in 1938 specifically designed for high voltage electrical workers? Which makes no sense.
Aluminum doesn't conduct electricity.
Yes, it does.
Not well. Better than steel.
Bullard, Fiber Metal Products Co., Honeywell, or Caterpillar?
Let's go with Honeywell.
Incorrect.
Oh.
It is Fiber Metal Products Co. Yep, electrical is for serious energies while working around high voltage. I do not understand that, but I will take their word for it. I guess that was, when was that? 38? I guess.
I wonder if it also has something to do with like a plastic hard hat would melt on your head too.
Could be. Question number 11. The iconic chore coat, a staple of workwear, was popularized by which clothing company in the late 1800s, Ross? Was it Wrangler, Filson, Carhartt, or Duluth Trading?
Wrangler.
Incorrect. It was Carhartt. First introduced in 1917. Do you guys know what this is?
The chore
coat? A chore coat?
I'm assuming it's the like no hood.
It's like that
like
canvas,
the soft collar, or is it the collar that flips over?
Essential gear for American farmers, mechanics, and industrial workers due to its water-repellent fabric and functional pockets.
Yeah,
it almost looks like a heavy-duty flannel.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's literally like a heavy-duty flannel, like a shacket, as they say.
All right, very cool. All right, last one of the regular questions. This is for
me,
Ross. Vibram Soles.
No, I think this one's mine.
I think this one's Colton's.
Sure.
Didn't I ask? Yeah, because you said Wrangler. Vibram soles, famous for their durability and traction on boots, were invented in 1937 following a mountaineering tragedy in which mountain range? The Alps, the Rockies, the Himalayas, or the Andes? Vibram soles.
Let's go with the Rockies.
Incorrect.
Oh, man.
It was the Alps. Italian climber Vitale Bramani invented the iconic rubber lug sole known today as the Vibram sole after losing his friends in a climbing accident in the Italian Alps. Okay, bonus round. Ready? 2 questions for all the pennies. Ross, in the early 1900s, what bizarre method did shoe companies use to prove their work boots were tough enough? Was it dropping them from hot air balloons, having elephants stand on them, dragging them behind racehorses, or feeding them to goats?
I'm going to say the elephants.
That's correct. Elephants.
Wow.
Companies like Red Wing and Wolverine had elephants stand on their boots at fairs and exhibitions to demonstrate their toughness and durability.
Step right up. Come see the elephant stand on the boot.
That's it's kind of the equivalent of like driving over something with your car, trying to test how strong a core
They did that
board
with
is or
luggage. They did that with luggage too, I think. See if the elephants could tear into them.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Bonus question. Which strange and hilarious name was given to early versions of reflective safety gear in Britain during the 1960s? Was it disco jackets, glowworm vests, fluorescent flap jackets, or donkey jackets?
What was the time period again?
Disco jackets, glowworm jackets.
Oh, no, the time period.
1960s.
I'm going to say disco jacket.
Incorrect.
Oh, was it the donkey one?
It was donkey jackets. So early reflective jackets, popular with workers in Britain, were called donkey jackets because their rugged look and reflective strips made workers stand out like donkeys in traffic, or like a jackass, I think is kind of what's going on there. But yeah.
I guess the 70s more disco then?
Yes. The 60s was more free love and jam bands.
Yeah, that's free love and jam bands. Ross would know. Well, sorry for the mix-ups, but we got through it, and you guys did awesome.
Well,
Ross, you killed it on that one.
Oh, thank you.
It's hard to believe. Like, you heard me saying, like 1800s. Like on a lot of these companies, they've been around for over 150 years. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah, a cool documentary I watched was "The Titans That Built America." I think it was on Netflix, and it goes and. I think the one I watched was mostly about like the car industry, like Ford and Chevy and Cadillac and all that. But
that is a reoccurring series on the History Channel as well.
Nice.
They go
they got it from the History Channel. Yeah,
it's really good. So, well, I do not have a whiskey for this week because I wanted to spend more time talking to Jess because we missed him so. And
well, that's nice.
Yeah, so I thought we could dive a little bit deeper into some snuggets.
Oh, quick alcohol talk, not whiskey, but rum. So I got Crystal it's a rather aged Florida Canya rum. And she was trying to mix it with what we had. And she wanted to do maple syrup. And I was like, I don't think so. We ended up just doing like ice and some bitters, like orange bitters. What would you have done with the rum?
Have you ever done a dark and stormy?
I've had one. I've never made one.
So that is typically Coca-Cola and dark rum.
Oh, that's right.
You can also do that with, there's a little bit of, there's something else in there too. And I forget what it is. It's a really simple drink though.
There's one with Coke, rum, and lime.
I believe that's it.
What are they? Well, that one, I think they call it like a chupacabra or something. It's got
Dark
some
and
fun
stormy.
name, at least where we were.
Let's see.
Wherever in Belize.
That used to be my drink.
So I'm wrong. The dark and stormy is 2 ounces of dark rum, 3.5 ounces of ginger beer, and a couple dashes of bitters.
Oh, ginger. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah. So as far as, let me ask this: was it just a dark rum, or is it a well-aged rum?
No, very well aged. I think it's the Florida Canya. I can't remember the age right now. It was like on the higher end. Before you, like, I think it's the oldest one you can get like conventionally at a store.
Okay,
maybe 14, or no, it might have been 20 something.
Okay,
so like we wanted it more boozy forward.
So let me preface this by saying I would never encourage a cocktail out of something that is that old. I want you to embrace that spirit as it is. What I would recommend for your wife to open it up, because it may be a little bit too alcohol heavy for her, take like 2 of the ice cubes you normally get at a bar, the smaller ones, and put them in there and let that glass sit out for like 10 to 15 minutes and then have her drink it, because that's going to really, number one, melt the ice cubes, but 2, open up that glass and aerate it. And all of a sudden it becomes nothing but like soft, sweet caramel and vanilla and honey and butterscotch and like all the sweetness all at once. And for somebody who, like her, has just come off of having a child, her sense of smell is so heightened at the moment.
Yeah.
She would absolutely love that. So let it sit out. If you could do like a half hour, like put the ice cubes in, let it sit for like a half hour, but no more than like 2 ice cubes if you're doing a 2-ounce pour. So like,
Yeah. I think she did it with a whiskey ball. So I mean, like kind of like by accident she did that, but with the splash of bitter. I think just to kind of take the alcohol edge off a little bit.
So
Like,
tell
but
her,
still like appreciate it.
yeah, don't do the whiskey ball. Literally like 1 ice cube per ounce of alcohol. So if she does a 2-ounce pour, then
You
2
try
ice
not
cubes.
to water it down too much.
Yes, you want to open it up but not water it down. But let it sit for like 20 to 30 minutes, and that alcohol will be gone, and it'll literally just be nothing but like sweetness and like baking sweetness.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Awesome. And also, now I think about it, I think it's 21, maybe.
Awesome.
I think it's low 20s.
Awesome.
Like
Enjoy it. It sounds delicious.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Well, let's snugget it up. Oh, hold on. There we go.
Nuggets and Snuggets.
This week on Snuggets, we are talking about all things that have added value to our life. And my Snugget, I rarely kick off this section, but I actually wanted to throw this out to both you gentlemen and my buddy Chris from Uncle Bones Workshop. Between the variety of projects that I've had over the past few weeks, having somebody else to, and this is my Snugget, having somebody else to bounce ideas off of, having somebody else to discuss through a project. There are times where you're just at like a mental block and you're like, I don't know what I should do. And just calling up somebody or having them come by your shop and be like, what would you do? Just bouncing things off of each other and having that woodworking friend or just a buddy in whatever situation you want to kind of go through things and talk through a situation can alleviate so many issues and spark so much more creativity. So my nugget is, even though woodworking typically is something you do almost entirely on your own, if you're in your own shop, there's a lot of alone time. Reach out to people, do a live stream, do whatever it takes. There's a massive community here. Reach out to some friends and actually talk through some of the issues you're having on a project, or just, hey, how would you lay out my shop different? Like, what would you say here? Having some of that insight can be eye-opening. So take advantage of it.
Hell yeah.
You remember that TV show House?
Yeah.
He was like the smartest guy ever,
Mm-hmm.
but he just wanted somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Mm-hmm.
He probably could have figured it out on his own eventually, but I am with you on that, man. Just like having David with what he knows, like sometimes he comes up with ideas, but just having somebody to like talk it through with and bounce ideas off of is a big help.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love shooting a group text out to y'all.
Absolutely.
And then I can't remember how many times I've been in the Home Depot aisle and called Jess. And Jess, what you introduced us to, whatever that primer is, like the bend stuff.
The bend,
and then, I can't remember what the latest one was. Oh, we were asking somebody about the what's the kind of housing that you do a lot of? I'm drawing so many blanks right now. Stucco, yeah. Stucco question.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because you call Jess from Home Depot, but you call me from the liquor store.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Yep. Yeah. No, if it's more construction forward, that's
fair.
Jess.
That's fair.
If it's on the other stuff, I'll send it both of y'all. But
I got
so that's my nugget.
So I actually have a snipe this week too.
Ooh.
I normally don't have snipes, but this morning I couldn't find my ding dang.
Did you look down in the shower? Oh, sorry.
Little staple gun. No, and so I went and bought one, and I bought a little nicer one. I remember I had some problems with my last one. You know, it was a little dinky, like Harbor Freight one. But so I went with the Arrow Power Shot T50 HS. Takes the
Heck yeah.
T50 one. But I bought 1/2 inch and 9/16 inch staples with it, and it does not put them in all the way, like into
What?
anything that's solid. Yeah.
Oh no! Did you get the Arrow one?
No, this
There's
one
a-
it's just a hand squeeze, like it's just mechanical, like just a spring.
So my dad had those my whole life. None of them have ever pushed anything all the way in. I will tell you, they make a $40 gun right next to it that's air. It never misses, and it shoots every staple all the way through.
Really?
And it's made by Arrow. It's a little red one, and it's super. That's what we use to put the cabinets together. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Same staples.
But this one, I did a few tests, and so it was penetrating consistently 5/16, 5/16.
Also, what she said.
And so my solution was I just got shorter nails or shorter staples. I got some quarter-inch and or 3/8 inch, and those worked great for the carpet. But I was real disappointed that I thought this one was like $32, and yeah, I went past the $10 into the $15 ones, and it still didn't do it. I even tore it apart to see if there was some way to adjust the spring to tension it more, and there's not. And I mean, with those shorter staples though, this one, it did have a really easy hand press. The way it's whatever mechanical advantage, it wasn't wearing my hand out, as opposed to some older ones I've used. But there's a snipe. Oh, and then for nugget, a little bitty cheap thing, but could save your life. So telescoping magnet. I got one.
Yep.
It's actually skinnier than a pen. Well, I guess they can't see it. I got a little metal zebra pen. It's about that skinny. And
Did you get the one at Harbor Freight?
I can't. This one probably came from Amazon China, a long time ago. And you don't use them very often, but when you need them, you need them.
When you drop something down inside your table saw, your cabinet saw.
For me, it was randomly my blinker in my truck, my front blinker, the light bulb fell out into the cavity of the
gotcha.
light, right? And so I was able to, it would have been a pain in the butt to try to get out any other way. I would probably had to uninstall the entire headlight and shake it.
Oh, goodness.
But I took that little light. I was like, I think I got a magnet around here. That little magnet fished it out real quick. And yeah, $2 or a few bucks on Amazon. That's
spent.
a good little, don't use it all the time, but when you need it, you need it.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy dropped a screw down to his cylinder in his truck, and they spent that whole evening, and then the next evening, and all of a sudden he pulled it out, and it was on the magnet, and he was like, yeah! They were screaming and whatever. He was so excited because he was gonna. I mean, he had to take the head off, I guess, to get that stupid screw out of there. But anyway.
One thing I do for the table saw is the ones that are it's coiled metal real tight. It's bendy.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 little hooks that come out whenever you compress the other end. I got that for whenever I don't have an
itch.
Yeah, no, for whenever for the table saw. Whenever a real slim piece of wood falls, and I'm losing all my terms right now, but falls down in there. That works pretty well for getting stuff out easy.
Well, a little bit of advice on those staplers. I only say this because my whole life growing up, we had to use those staples for stucco. We used them for a lot of different things. We used them for bead and for lath and for corner bead. And I've used them all. And my dad always bought at the time, all they sold was the Black & Decker Sure Shot, which didn't work for crap, and the Arrow T50, which was the metal one. And the T50 will shoot forever, but it doesn't drive crap. And then I've used the DeWalt one that's $60, and it works pretty good, but nothing works better than that air one that's $40.
Yeah.
And I know it's a pain in the butt to hook up air because I bought the Porter Cable air one, and it doesn't work because the staples get clogged all the time. But that Arrow one, man, it's a little tiny thing, and it just bap, 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 bap. It doesn't matter what it is, it goes right in. So
yeah, well, my little 18 gauge pneumatic nailer used to. My first one I had was a combo, right? You could do the nails or staples. But when I replaced it, I went cheap and didn't get the staple version of it.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, so I was just trying to think. I've got about 1,000 things going on in my head. I guess this is my nugget. So when you're putting in trim or molding, you generally want to hit studs, like if you can. Like if you just that's how that trim's going to stay and the caulk's not going to crack. I cannot tell you how many pieces of baseboard I have pulled off in my life where they have just nailed it to the drywall, and it makes me want to scream. Like, can you just not hit like a couple?
What do you
Like
do
stud?
when there's metal studs?
You cross nail it and glue it. That's about the best I can do with it.
Power grab.
If I have to, I'll get out. They make a fine thread finish screw. That's for that stuff, and you can screw through it. But generally, most woodworkers will tell you just Loctite because it'll hold it, and then you cross nail your screws into the studs as best you can. I mean, that's about all you can do.
Wait,
I did a whole ship
Loctite on hitting a metal stud? I've never heard of that.
No, I put Loctite behind the
molding
base, and then glue it to the wall, and then I'll cross nail into the metal studs. Generally, they're light studs.
Yeah.
If they're heavy studs, then you're not nailing at all. Then you're definitely screwing.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a fine thread self-tapping finish screw, I don't think.
No, I've seen drywall screws that are fine thread, but
yeah, they do make a finish screw that goes into drywall for putting up trim. So if it's really like it's like bowing out or something, like a piece of crown, you just need to suck it down. But we're talking wood studs or furring strips.
Okay.
Stud Buddy, best $9 you'll ever spend. And it almost like points right to the stud. It's basically a really nice strong magnet, and you drag that all over the wall. And that'll find a screw in most things. But then if it's like an older house, which a lot of us have to work on, even a stud finder
does nothing when you have plaster.
Yeah, maybe, right? Like maybe it might give you like a semblance of like, it usually isn't fine the center, but buy a better stud finder and just go along the wall as you nail. But as soon as you find one, you're going to know, because it's going to hold that, I mean, outlets are your best guess, right? One side of the outlet, you can knock and hear it a lot of times and shoot into that stud. But as soon as you hit that first stud, then do your guess. 16 inches, lay your tape out on the floor and shoot where your 16s are and see if it's grabbing. Or you can also, an old trim carpenter taught me, he kept a long like hand drive finish nail, and he would put it in the wall right above the baseboard, and he would hit and like right at the crack where the baseboard hits the wall, and he would drive until he hit, and then he would measure on 16s, because when you pull that out, when they caulk, it disappears. And then you know where your stud is. So he would keep a little hand drive and do it that way.
It's a lot better than my like a
because you want to be fast,
small drill bit like every half inch whenever you
right.
Yeah.
The whole point with base and trim is to be fast, because you don't make a lot of money doing it. Nobody does, right? Because it's supposed to be pretty easy. That's why everybody shoots it into the drywall. But those are my little tips for doing it. And then the other thing is when you're doing your mitered corners, if that's what you're doing on any of it, I always like hold another piece up on the other wall, generally because you know how it kind of kicks in and kicks out at the corner beads usually. It doesn't like taper real pretty. And hold that piece and measure to that other piece, like a good sized piece. Then you've got a nice average of where that other one's going to go, and measure to that, or hold it up and make a mark that way where you're going to do your miter, because it'll give you better. And then wait to put all those miters together till you're done. And like get them all cut and sit in there, and then you can kind of like nail your miters together and then kind of like tack it to the wall. Because generally, if it's a nice big fat pretty baseboard, it's not going to sit tight to the wall. No, it's going to float out, and you're going to let them caulk that so that your corners and the base look straight. So those are my little tidbits for doing trim.
Right on.
Yeah,
I like it. Well, to everybody out there, just want to say once again, thank you for everything, listening wise over the past 3 seasons now, and we're still going strong. But now that we are going to have Patreon, we will get out all those details to everybody. So stay tuned. And if you feel like throwing us a shekel or two, we would greatly appreciate that. So,
I'm really excited. Man, we got some fun ideas on ways to bring value to it. So
absolutely. Yeah, maybe some merch coming up.
Oh, better than that. Better than that. We'll talk about it later, though.
Yeah. Anything else you boys want to cover off on?
No, I'm good.
Dude, that wraps it up for me, brother.
All righty. Well, to all the listeners out there, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button wherever you are listening to this podcast. And thank you very much for tuning in this week. We hope you all enjoyed every second of this episode. If you didn't, please send all your complaints to our face-melting legal representation at Harris and Dickinson and Associates, where their motto is, if you committed a crime, you better run to the hills, because we are coming for you. For Jess, Colton, and Ross, this has been the Beat Around the Bench podcast, and we will catch you all next time.
See ya.